I'd like us to take a moment to reflect on the meaning of place and connection. I'm coming from Gumbaynggirr country on the mid-north coast of New South Wales in a township of Ballingen, which is my home. And that's a picture of Ballingen, and it looks like that about 100 metres from my house, and I'm quite serious. And in the spirit of reconciliation, I'd wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of all the lands we live, work and love on. And I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging of all these lands. And I extend that respect to all First Nations peoples. So just to get me going, just to start, can everyone pop into chat? So we're going to start getting a little bit more interactive now. We're in number 3 meeting. I think this is our 3rd one. But how are people feeling in relation, particularly to the Community Connector program? So could I just, what's going on in your world, and can I just see what you've got to say? Chat is, does everyone know how to use chat? And you can come up your microphones too for this bit if you like, and just call it out. So just one word, how are you feeling? Great. Anyone else, please? Everyone? Great. Glad to hear, Gail, it's going well. Good. Challenged. Okay, great. Challenged, busy, excited, making good progress, excited, inspired. Great. Okay, thank you. And the next slide. So I've got news for you. So we're going to have this slot every time because we seem to have a lot of news these days. And so I'm going to take you what I've been doing in the last month and all our good news. Just first, we relaunched our Attract Connect Stay website on the same day that I did a keynote in New Zealand. It was a couple of hours out, which was unfortunate, but Peter and I and Jacob, who works with us, he's our IT person, I have spent quite some time the last few months working on this. Please direct clients this way, yourselves this way. There's an enormous amount of resources in here. And this establishing the Community Connector program has been entirely rewritten, and it's now behind a paywall. But I will be giving all Impact Network members access to that because it's full of resources that Bem and myself have been writing, particularly for the Community Connector program. So when I get a moment, I'll let that, I've got to work out the technology to allow you to come in free to use that. So we're really excited. Please. It's got lots of things, all these resources. So there used to be a Kath Cosgrave consulting website. We have brought all of those together. And today we're going to also talk about Attract Connect Stay and how we want sites to be using that and co-branding with us. This little green thing is a checklist for any of your organisations that want to know where they're sitting on the Attract Connect Stay framework across the 3 domains or the 5 pillars. Moving on. So I was invited to do a keynote at the New Zealand's National Rural Health Conference. They had about 400 delegates in person and more online. And I just want to take you through it. So this keynote was on the power of Attract Connect Stay and the framework to transform rural healthcare. This is me. So many of these slides you would have seen before. Sorry, these slides, but not these photos. And this one should all make you smile. Here's the emerging. And down the bottom, New Zealand is coming on stream. And because I knew New Zealand was coming on stream and I was in New Zealand, I was coming to New Zealand, I offered to run a workshop the following day, particularly for people from the Waiarapa who I have been speaking in conversations the last 18 months. So this was the workshop I ran. This was particularly about the Community Connect program. So as I like to call that, the pink lollipop of the 5 pillars. I pulled that one out and we did it as a very interactive workshop. It was the following day. So some slides, some interactive stuff, and yeah, me in my element. This is the bit I really love, and I think it shows. This is when I actually get to sit down with people and see what is possible and where they're at, and what we were doing the readiness checklist here around how ready their communities were, and retesting, re-looking at how well the new checklist that I developed was. So I went home, or went back to the hotel and spent the weekend rewriting it because I thought it could be better, which is continuous quality improvement is very much a feature of all of this teams. If I think I can make it simpler, and also there were just some things about being in a different country that I realized, oh, that doesn't translate. So I was working on that as well. So that's all up on that training course. So that was a live presentation of the online training crash course. So because there was an opportunity to go and visit the Waiarapa, the Waiarapa, Barbara, would you like to just jump off and say where Waiarapa is and say hello to everyone? You're on mute, Barbara.
Kia ora everybody, my name's Barbara, and we live what's known colloquially as across the hill from Wellington, which is the capital city of New Zealand. We're a little region we identify as rural, but compared to Australia, we're probably nothing like it. So that's where we're functioning, is in the New Zealand version of rural.
Yeah, so they're about an hour and a half from Wellington, and they call it a hill, but I would call it mountains, and they're very big, windy mountains. And pretty impenetrable, and you can see that would cause significant workforce attraction challenges, and some of that drain that we know that Shepparton gets on weekends, because it is close enough to a capital city, which is not necessarily a good thing for building social connection and belonging. So I came and I had a Maori welcome, which was incredibly moving. What's it called, Barbara?
It's called a porphyry, which means welcome.
Yeah, so this was all in language, and it was very moving. After the porphyry, I then presented. We had about 50 healthcare and related organisations, Whitefella, Pacifica, and Maori. It was probably of any collaboration or early establishment phase I have ever been to. The room was full of really strong. We've done well in Margot, we've done well in Glen Innes, but this was remarkable, and really to Barbara and her committee's working groups efforts to get all the right people in the room. And I just want to introduce Margot Davis. Margot was one of the original people behind the Glen Innes pilot, and she's currently working with Glen Innes on a couple of things. Welcome, Margot. And then we had the local rep, politician, what was his name, Barbara?
Mike Butterick.
And Barbara had worded him up, and he wasn't allowed to talk about whatever just he wanted to talk about. He had to talk about what I'd been talking about. I've never seen a politician do that, but this one did, and he was very supportive of the program and what we were trying to do. And this is Barbara's. How many of your committee are there, Barbara?
Those are 9 out of 11, so we had 2 people who couldn't make it on the day, but they're regular attenders at meetings.
All right, and I'm beginning to meet your equivalents or your doppelgangers in different sites. So I'll sit with someone and just go. Barbara is Sharon, Margot, and Karen and Joe. It's really funny. I was just saying that to this equivalent everywhere that I go, and so who are doing similar roles, or we're really the rural leaders who got things moving. This is a very dynamic committee full of representatives from healthcare, and very strong. I was really impressed. So it was, and then we spent a couple of days after this was on a Monday, and on the Tuesday and Wednesday, we did small meetings with whoever wanted to talk to me, ask me anything sort of things, and they were very in a smaller setting. And then we came back as a group with this group to talk about where to next. So this site is well and truly establishing. It needs to do some sort out its funding, and its governance is completely sorted, and some planning for and they're ready to go. So that's very exciting. I had a great time. So some of you know about the Welcome Experience in New South Wales Government. This was piloted last year in 2020-21. This group, Regional New South Wales, was talking to me about this research, and they're now expanding that program across New South Wales. This is something that the New South Wales Community Connector sites have been waiting for, because Margot, Joe, Karen, it is our program. Yeah, it is Attract Connect Days. And after they've evaluated it, it's even more Attract Connect Days. Many of the little small things that I thought weren't quite right now are. So we've got a number of sites, the two that are part of the network, but also another major one, which is a strategic alliance I'm working on at the moment, that will be tendering for this. That closes on Thursday. We hope to be very successful. This is about what influenced the development of this program, and as you can see that they named it, my research was a strong influence. So we're excited to see that space. It's a very short turnaround, and this will be really important for the sustainability of the New South Wales sites. So that's particularly the mid-coast of New South Wales and Glen Innes, who have got expansion and sustainability all wrapped up in that, and they've been doing great work. And I'm involved in all of those programs. I just want to quickly show you this, how we're going for time. No, I won't show you this. I'm going to send this to you in the Facebook. This is Kate Dunn's Love Taree campaign. It's a big Love Taree campaign, and it has stories about allied health professionals, etc. But they've recently done one on the Community Connector, and I really encourage you to watch it. It's about 3 minutes, beautiful of Kate. She speaks, she actually didn't have a script as far as I know, and she just spoke from her head and her heart on this, and it is an excellent resource, and I really encourage you to all get ones like this. That's me. Now I'm going to hand you over to Peter, who's going to talk to you about branding. I'm still showing my slides, aren't I? Is that right?
No, they've gone now.
Right.
They've gone. Yeah.
Peter, over to you.
Hi, everybody. I've met some of you, Gail and Karen.
All right. Can everyone hear Peter? Can anyone go if they're having? No, everyone's good. Great.
Good.
Sorry, Peter.
That's okay. I've come on to help Kath with marketing across the board, and one of the things that I identified quite early was that there need to be resources for the Community Connector program. So that's something that we're thinking about and plotting towards, and we've started to develop materials and extend some of the current branding, which I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I think if I can just share my screen. There we go. This branding. So this is you'd be familiar with the pebble shape and the language and the Attract, Connect, Stay. So we've started to develop these little assets for different uses, and we're aware that what you're being shared may be ad hoc, but what we're going to try and do is develop a media center so that you on the website that will be protected, and you could go in and we'll start to put together style guides and elements and possibly even campaigns that relate to specific things that would be on everybody's calendar. Are you okay day? So that you can exploit those across your social channels. But we also understand that you might be at a stage where you're developing your social channels. And so we want to hear from you what sort of channels you will be using and whether we can put together materials that are appropriate for each of those channels. So I'd suggest that probably community groups on Facebook would be a very important one, and LinkedIn. And so with the community connectors, I'll be running little programs so that they can be coached along to how to use certain tools on those platforms. Even if they need help setting them up, I can do that. But we'd like to understand from you all what branding you will be using. So realizing that there'll be icons and there'll be banners. What we want to do is make sure that if others, this is an important thing for us, is that we help all rural communities. We want this to spread so that we're impacting all rural communities. And so if they hear about these programs that are so fabulously run by you all, that they know how those other rural communities can maybe see this, or you're sharing it, that they know where to come. So we don't want them to have to try to come to you to talk about setting up a Community Connector program. We want it to be clear so that they know how to come back to Attract, Connect, Stay to do that. So there might be certain things that we will want included in your bios, or that there's always a line in some imagery. So I realize that everybody's got a different arrangement. So we want to understand that so that we can better support and give you the materials that you need, while at the same time making sure that our business is funneled to us so that we can then get more Community Connector programs established. that's really just the starting point that I wanted to cover with you today, so that we could maybe have a little bit of a discussion about some things that you might need so that we can develop them. If there's anything immediately that you need so that we can understand what's important right now, if you wanted to let us know. I don't know if there's a way to work through the people, but is there anybody that has a need? Kathy, you're muted.
And up if you've got something to or add in chat. I now own the trademark of Attract Connect Stays. We have to have particular discussions with Glenn Innes about, and that we use the same graphic designers. Glenn Innes will need a particular solution for theirs. Gail.
For me right now, because I'm at the start, I just want to know what logo is it, the network logo, because at the moment we're running a small pilot of the Community Connector program to show validation in our community. Yeah, really, I guess it's just clarification on which one we're using, when and how.
On what platforms, Gail? On print materials or on socials? What are you doing?
At the moment, it's in print or PDF. When I'm drawing up an agreement, at the moment, I'm basically saying that it's informed by the Attract Connect Stay.
So we do, I do have a Community Connector program powered by Attract Connect Stay logo. I think that was, I'm not sure. I'll talk to Kath about what's the most appropriate one. But
I guess the process of this is what I'm doing. Which one do I use?
Yeah. And I think it's also early that every situation you've got, we'll build a style guide and clear guidelines, but we need your support, and particularly as you're all early adopters, and like everyone, if you come later on, things have got sorted out, and we can give you, but we need to work on these together. So Gail, and I know you're going through a certain process at the moment, so we can really help you with that. Now, we just have had Kate Dunn and just her website, so they've got resourcing to develop the Mid-Coast of New South Wales a website. So that's for Bim, Peter and I to look at, Bim and I particularly on content, and can we help strengthen that community, but Peter really on branding. And so how does that look unique, but that you get the right traffic for your clients and we get the traffic. So there was something that Karen sent me the other day, a request for Karen to come and speak to another community about the Community Connector program. And that really is the Attract Connect Stay team's work, not other community connectors. You've got your own sites so it's a bit, bear with us while we sort this out, but I think in 6 months we'll have a great set of assets for you and really clear guidelines of when to use what, and always ask which one we think you should be using, and also for your socials and all that, and as well as some photos that we think that are really capture things well, but nothing's better than your own sites and your own people. Any more questions?
So just in that instance, Gail, would this one here be the one that you'd want, the Community Connector powered by Attract Connect Stay? You're muted. Sorry, what did you say?
I'm not sure. I think I probably just need to send you what I'm doing and then decide.
Yeah, and of course from there, you should have your own assets and logos. We don't want to take that away from you. As I say, in the future, there will be the Attract Connect Stay name can't be used.
Well, not in a logo, but certainly if this was, say, the footer, and then it had the URL, because we want people to drive traffic there if they need to know that. But obviously, if it's in your closed circle, yeah, we would just support you by, this one might not make sense because it just says CCP. It's like an internal use thing, whereas something that's saying it in full. So yeah, it's probably best to understand context. And again, we've just started developing these assets. So if we need to develop more because it's what's needed for the things that you're sending out, then we'll do that, knowing that it's probably going to be relevant for others. And yeah, so that would be part of the style guide to make sure that it's clear how and when to use those things. So yeah, really appreciate your giving us some insights, Gail, so that we can develop the things that you need.
And there's increasingly this will be coming up all the time. So you're better to ask and for us to support them. If we can prevent could you pull that down? Because it's about how we drive traffic. It's a much more sophisticated game or program than it was 3 or 4 years ago. And the sites are coming now so rapidly that we need to put some clear guidelines in there, which will help you all and help us too. But we're not trying to, you will benefit from being co-branded and known as one of these sites. It says it's evidence informed, it's all the things, and you'll really be advantaged by that. Margot. You're on mute.
So Track Connect Stay will work with you. So does that mean because you own the Track Connect Stay trademark now that we can't call the incorporation of Track Connect Stay, or we can still call it that because it's a corporation, but we're going to have to brand?
Yeah, so Glennis is a unique case where I think Peter will need to all sit down around how best. You're going to have probably your own style guide just for you guys. No, I don't want to take that away from you, but it does. We certainly have problems around where traffic's being driven, don't we, Peter? Like frequently
because Glennis is so active, it actually ranks very highly, which is fantastic, but it does jeopardize traffic coming to ours. So we'll catch up, but it's just
So no, I don't. And I know you've spent thousands on assets with the Track Connect Stay, Glennis. So we're not going to be doing it, but we just need to. How does it look on socials, and how are you representing? The other thing I'd like to do with our new website is create a page for all the sites, so that you can cross-link to us and we can cross-link to you, and also share your good news. If you're creating beautiful things or having real successes, we want to celebrate them too. So the win-wins. You do wonderful things. Sally, you can see all over Tari. The more you do, the more we'll share, and we're all out on socials like LinkedIn. We've been saying some beautiful things about the program, and vice versa. So we can really lift your profile if we get all of these things in place. Peter's really the expert here. She's certainly called up my home of Track Connect Stay, and now we want to just, bear with us. It's a little bit messy as we all begin, but we'll never tell you, except for a Track Connect Stay, that it will just be confusing if we had a Track Connect Stay, Glennis, a Track Connect Stay, Tari. It will be, and all of you will just be getting, could you come and be a keynote at something where, no, you don't really want to do that, but I'd like to. All right.
But if you want to do some talking, we'll record it and put your video up, because we want to see more of that, more testimonials and more like really detail about the specificity of what's in your location, because that's probably someone else is experiencing the same thing somewhere, and we'd really love to share those. That's another thing we want to build on.
The feedback I've had, we've sent that website to a number of government agencies and more case studies, more stories, more impact. So here it comes. Let's do it. Now we're a network. So is that it? Can we move on to the next?
Yes, and if you're okay if I leave to. Yep.
So,
thank you very much.
Just so you know, Peter Visits is doing regular training with the community connectors. So really helping them individually about how to use LinkedIn better and all the things about where their clients may be sitting. So we're helping with that. But if you wanted to get Peter to do specific things for your organisation, that would be separate to this. It's all sitting within the network. Okay, next we're moving on. Bye, Peter.
Bye.
Next, we're moving on to Bim, and Bim's
Hi, everybody.
Bye. Bim's going to talk to you about the customer relations management system. And my only word is this is really important for impact in your communities and impact across Australia, across the globe more recently, around what this program is doing. I've just also been asked to work with Canada to develop a resource that's Canadian specific. So they want to bring back the community connector program using these resources to expand it in Canada. So that's really exciting, and we need to demonstrate impact. Bim's been working on this, and I'll hand over to Bim now.
Yeah, thanks, Kath, and bear with me, guys. I've had a cold, so if I start coughing, I mute myself, and Kath, you might need to take over. Yeah, we're really excited to roll out the CRM that we've developed, and I've created a bit of a presentation because it's the easiest way to capture what we've created. We've been doing this over the last 3 months with our magical IT guy, Jacob, and it's based on the experience that we've had in Shepparton in the Community Connector. And I wish I had this CRM from the start of the program back then. So just bear with me and I'll find this presentation. We've got that up now, Kath?
Yep, all good.
Okay, thank you. So the CRM stands for a client relationship management or a customer relationship management system. And many of you may be quite familiar with a CRM, but if not, we've got some basic information we'll go through about what this platform is. It's been created by the Attract, Connect, Stay team for all the use of all Community Connector programs that we're working with. We've got a short video which will just demonstrate a little bit about what a CRM is. So here we go.
What is CRM? CRM, or Customer Relationship Management, refers to the technology and processes used to help you manage contacts, relationships, and sales. With a good CRM tool, you can arrange all of your data in one centralized hub that your whole team has access to. You'll also have access to plenty of features that can help fill your team's inboxes with qualified leads. It will enable you and your team to create and manage one simple, consistent sales process. The right CRM for your company will be easy to use, keep your customer and sales data up to date, and give you accurate and insightful metrics. The best platform will provide you with the tools and data to gather vital insights exactly when and where you need them, save you time, and help you build stronger relationships with your customers and prospects. If you want to find out more about CRM, read our blog article, What is
Ben, you're on mute.
Sorry. Yes, that was just a quick overview of a CRM. And they spoke about sales in that particular video. And I just want to highlight that the CRM is used for many different aspects for businesses. A lot of the time it's based on sales and marketing. And in a sense, I suppose the businesses that we're dealing with in the Community Connector and the clients are our sales contact around about connection and retention. So why did we build our own CRM? It's based off the experiences that I've had in Shepparton. I worked with the Community Connector program in Shepparton for just under 2 years. We started off with an Excel spreadsheet capturing the data, which was wonderful initially, but became this huge monster to manage. It didn't allow us to actually capitalize on those relationships we had. We were just plugging in contacts without really doing anything with them. So by building our own CRM, we're able to take control of the fields and the data that we wanted to collect. It's allowed us to individualize each program. So every program, as we know, is very different and they have different requirements of the data they'd like to capture. So we're able to individualize each CRM and add particular fields in there for each of you and your requirements. And we're able to offer some onboarding one-on-one support and within Australia. The CRM that we'd initially dealt with, it's in Shepparton, we had a Excel spreadsheet, and then we moved over to HubSpot for a short period of time, which was wonderful, and it really did tick all the boxes for us, but it was around about a little bit under $100 a month. And we also had limited onboarding and support. It was based overseas. I think we had initially 30-minute onboarding for around about $400. So it was costly. And I think that was one of the reasons as well that we looked at being able to develop our own CRM and support the programs around Australia that we're working with at the moment.
And New Zealand and anywhere else.
And New Zealand, thank you. Sorry. So yes, cost effective is really appealing. So the benefits, you saw a little bit about the video, the benefits in the video, but just to capitalize on some of those, where it's maintain a centralized database, so you can access a CRM anywhere from a mobile phone to a laptop if you're off site. It manages all communications and interactions with your clients and businesses. So there's great feature is email tracking. It's wonderful in administration, so time saving, organisation and has some great features on importing and exporting data and fields there as well. And also we have a touch screen, sorry. We have an extra field where we have reminders, and we're able to set particular important dates around, particularly for clients, around that 3 and 6 and 12-month health check that we do with them as well. So they're automated diary reminders. Increases client retention. Our clients, we know if we're able to capture the right data around their needs in the community, whether that's social, finding a housing, house, the right school for their children or a job for their partner. If we're capturing all this data, we're able to service the client to their needs, and long-term retention is our end game. And the program has data-driven decision-making. We're able to collect all that information on the one platform and base our program around that important information. I think we saw that in Shepparton. We worked a lot around being able to capture the data, feed it onto our committees and steering committees, our funders, to help us with our decision making and reporting. Fantastic asset there for capturing data, exporting data, categorizing data, and the ability to yeah, so the ability to export and collate that data and utilize it for the growth programs. Oh gosh, I'm having problems here, sorry.
It's all right.
Yep. And also multi-use access. We all know the community connector programs initially start off with one community connector, but there are times that there's support that's needed. To have another staff member or maybe a volunteer in the community or even a community member to be able to access the database is really beneficial as well. Who the community connector works with within the community. We know we are the eyes and ears in the community. We work with organisations and businesses from multinational to local level. We work with contacts and within the organisation, such as management, line managers, HR and marketing. We work with community groups of all aspects. Here's just to name a few, from social, religious, sporting, volunteer, cultural and arts groups. We work with education facilities from childcare all the way through to primary, high school, universities, public government. We work with recruitment agencies, particularly around finding a job for a partner. So we have brokered great relationships with various recruitment agencies. We're working with obviously the client and their family and the needs of those families. Private housing sectors, just to name a few. So networking is the community connector's role, and capturing all these relationships within the CRM is really important. In Shepparton, to give you an idea, in that first 2 years that I was working in the program, we assisted over 500 new to area professionals and their families. I think initially when we were starting to capture this data, it's a little bit sketchy because we were using an Excel spreadsheet, but that equates to 1,500 or more family individuals and their families that were relocating. We're not just dealing with the employer that's relocating, we're helping obviously the children and the family members to settle. And by the end of that 2-year period, we had over 2,000 contacts within our CRM or our Excel, which is amazing.
And latest from last week was over 600. So
yeah, so that's again in the last 12 months.
Yeah, this is what will happen. I can promise you at every site.
Yeah, and it happens really quickly. It's a beast of connections, relationships, and a CRM
it starts slowly and you think, oh, I'm going to have to drum up work, and then all of a sudden you're drowning in it.
Absolutely. The types of engagements we have in the community are from presentations with businesses and industry groups and community groups. We're partnering, making partnerships and collaborations with existing projects. We're working one-on-one with businesses and clients. We're delivering social events to our clients, whether that's monthly dinners, welcome events, coffee catch-ups. We are consistently educating and marketing through interviews with radio, print media, social media. Again, these are all things that we do through our CRM, and capturing these contacts and relationships really helps really streamline and assist in the administration tasks. We also attend expos, seminars, and networking events. So each time we're connecting and communicating, we're creating new relationships and networks, and these are added into our CRM. What data is collected? We have two categories, one business and contacts and the other our client or our relocator, and we capture specific information on each of these clients. And again, this has been based off what we know worked in Shepparton and the data that we needed to collect. With organisations and businesses, we're collecting information from their website to their business details and contact details, what industry they're from. So we have these categorised from education, health, infrastructure, and this allows for easy exporting as well when we're wanting to pull some of that data out. Who they're being referred to from the business, the first date of contact, the relationship with the community connector, whether that's a fee for service, a presentation, or maybe just someone that's interested and we need to follow up that's come through our website. We have contacts within that organisation. So I think a good example is the local hospitals. They would be our organisation we're dealing with, but it's not unusual to be having contacts or relationships with 20, 30 or so within an organisation. So we're able to capture all those contacts, their positions, and the relationship that we have with them. We also have local contacts in the community groups. Now, it was quite a beast that we had in Shepparton with collecting and keeping up to date with the community groups, the religious and cultural groups, whether that's sporting groups, which can be categorised from junior sporting through to all levels of sport, arts and drama, real estate contacts, housing registers. And then we had category 2, which is we call the client or the referral, that we're referred to from a business that is relocating to our region. Again, based on what we know and what data we need to capture to service those clients' needs. Some of those details are a name of contacts, the industry they're working in, their employer, the first date of contact that we've had with them, who they've been referred from. The date they're arriving in your community is a good one that we actually have as a date reminder. So we know that when they're arriving to reach out to them. We also have the automatic date reminders of the 3, 6 and 12 month checks that we do, the health checks, and things, additional fields such as relocation or where they're relocated from and their nationality. We're also able to highlight their relocation needs. Now, each of these fields that we've created have additional areas that we can add notes as well as just the yes and no. So we need to know about their housing, the type of housing they're looking for. Particularly if they're coming from overseas, they might like to be relocated near their workplace due to not having a car, a job for their partner if they're needing assistance there, determining the right school for their children, transport assistance from the airport if needed. And we also have an area for general notes. We understand that every program is different and we need to capture different fields. So we do have that ability to create those to suit each program. And then obviously all their social needs, such as date reminders when we're having a welcome coffee with them when they arrive, their social requirements, their children's needs, social sporting, and sending out things such as our monthly invites for dinners, again through the email and marketing that we do through the CRM as well. This is a small snapshot of what that CRM looks like. It is hard to capture in a screen snippet there, but it's giving you an idea of that we can categorize them in their service that we provide and the support they need. We're able to pull that information in and out. This is only just started to be rolled out in the last few weeks, so I'm sure these will start to grow quite quickly. And then sustainability of the program. Reporting and analytics, huge, as Kath said, sustainability is everything to the program. So being able to capture the data, share that data, whether that's through community groups, through your marketing, your community, to your committees, and obviously funding requirements as well. I think that's something we really found really useful in Shepparton once we got our CRM developed, was being able to pull that information out and feed that on through our reporting for our funding requirements. So that's our CRM. We're really excited. We're starting to present that to our community connectors in the last few weeks. We're doing some onboarding at the moment, which is done through Jacob and myself. We're on the ground here. Being a community connector myself, we're able to assist them through that process as well. Anything you want to add there, Kath?
Yeah, I will. Oh, sorry, that's just gone funny. Do you want to stop sharing, Bim?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, great. I'm also
sorry about my screen there too. It was the touch screen that kept flicking back and forth, so my apologies.
Okay, and if you've got questions, please put your hand up. I'm also interested in that consolidated data, not surprisingly, that I am talking wherever I can at state, federal, and however I can influence in other countries, that I believe that matched funding is for this type of initiative is really what we need to be seeing. And so matched, I don't believe we want government to fund it, because then it'll just become a government program and we won't have that community-led, community engaged, and it's your metrics, your community's metrics. But I want to see that. I want to go, how many partners have across these many programs have we helped with employment? And that's the sort of question we're being asked to be able to influence funding. So I'm playing that game. This is why we wanted to create a bespoke program for you that really met your needs, but it will also meet the needs that we're trying to help you become sustainable. And those conversations, I need consolidated data. So we can do both, which is good. So it's a win for everyone. And it was way cheaper. And we've got the lovely Jacob and Bim with training and support. So we've brought that in-house. We'll now roll that out. And the lovely effort to particularly those long-standing sites to move all the data across is what will be happening. So if you haven't started yet or haven't done much yet, that's good. That'll be easier for you. But everyone will start with this, and it's once you join the network, you get this, and you get one license. Sometimes I'm seeing some sites might need more than one license. So one license is $440 as part of your annual network. If you need more licenses, that's something that Bim, Jacob, and I will talk with you and negotiate what that will be. But I think none of you at the moment need anything more than one license. Any questions? I do need to say I need committees of management to really encourage their community connectors to use. And if the community connectors are sitting here, we really need you to use this. I know that some of you really have they don't have enough hours to really do the admin. We need to find ways to support the community connectors to do this admin and to keep it up to date. So we're seeing some patchy data, and we understand why that's happened because many of you are under-resourced. And this is why in the new program, I've said no less than, I think, 20 hours a week. No community connector should be expected to do this job in less than 20 hours a week, and ideally full-time if we can. And if you've got full-time hours, get two, because that'll stop people burning out. Barbara.
Thanks for that, Bim. That was very interesting. I'm just curious to know a couple of things. You mentioned that it can be tailored for each community. So does that mean you can add your own fields if you needed that sort of thing?
That's right, yep.
That's the first question. And the other one was, do people have the access to change their own data? How you sign up for online shopping somewhere, you get to change your address or your phone number or whatever. Do they get a chance to do that?
When we're talking about the individual client themselves, yes. So all that data that is entered into the CRM, it will be done through your community connector. So your clients, your businesses will not have access to this. It's confidential. It's for the purpose of the Community Connector program only. So you can change and update yourself as businesses change, and we know people's positions will change, so we can constantly update that information ourselves, but it's not done externally. That makes sense. And in regards to the fields, yes, absolutely. I think that's one of the best things about having our own Community Connector or CRM is that we can tailor that. We can teach you down the track to create those fields yourself. Because every program will require different data. I think there's 80% of it is we all need the same information, but there's 20% that might need tailoring to your own specific program.
Great, thank you.
Is there 9 participants? Can you just check for me? Can everyone do a check? And don't count the other 9. Is that right? Is there 9? Eight. Is that 8? All right. So what I'm going to do now, so that's the content for today, but I'm also interested, this webinars are as good as what you want. And so what I'm going to do, and also that I'd like to not just talk all the time, I'd like to get you to start knowing other people, and I'm going to put you in a breakout session for just 5 minutes. And I want you to talk about what you'd like to explore, discuss, troubleshoot in these webinars, and come back and put it in chat. So I'm going to see if I can be smart and create 4 rooms and assign you manually, hopefully, to people that you don't know. And let's see how I go. Assign.
Sorry, Kath, I've got to check out.
Okay, see you, Troy.
Bye, everyone.
And Gail. Okay, open all the rooms and I'll bring you back. So you should, hopefully that'll work. You should be going. Hello, Bim.
Sorry, Kath.
Well done. That's good. That was good. So we'll just. Yeah. What do you think? How are we going?
How am I going?
Oh, how are they going?
Today? Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's good to put some faces to names as well.
Yeah, I think.
Do you normally get this sort of amount of people come? Or is it just vary?
It's not bad. And we're going to work on yours, and that's, you can see, the more valuable they think it is, the more they'll turn up. And I wanted that pressure. We wanted to use the CRM. And the very last thing I'll say is they've got to jump onto that Facebook.
Yes. Yep.
So if I could just say it, can you remember to say it? So,
yep. To your committee's Facebook page. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's.
Are they all not members yet?
I think I've got everyone but is a member. Barb is actually a guest and hasn't paid, so they're not ready. She's not really quite there, but I quite like having those. It kind of goes.
Yeah. Hey, that's interesting. You were saying about Canada coming back on board.
Yeah. So
I'm going over there in June for 3 weeks. If you need me to go visit anyone.
Oh, okay. Where are you going?
I'm going to pick up my little 14-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to Vancouver, Calgary, and Seattle for a couple of. I'm there for 2 weeks.
I might. I have a really beautiful. Well, you don't want to go to Marathon and take a photo, do you?
Where is Marathon? That's it. That's in Alberta, isn't it?
No, it's in Ontario.
Okay. Just to take a photo.
They give you a lovely weekend, and how lovely would that be? Yeah, and I think what time of year?
I'm going in June. Yeah, 2 weeks. I'm going for some. Just going to tour around with little Sari. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, maybe. I'm going to close the rooms and bring them back. So
well done for doing that.
Yeah, and that's smart.
Absolutely. And I just this technology stuff, touch screen. Each time I went to touch the screen because it's the way to move the screen forward. It was flicking forward. So I'm going to have to make sure I use a mouse.
Okay, so they should all be coming back. Okay, are you all back? Have I got my technology under control?
Apologies to Sally. I accidentally got out too fast.
Everyone should be coming back in. Okay, hi everyone. All right, put it in chat what the things you'd like to see, please. Is it me? I can't see anything.
It feels like we're all back.
All right.
I can see everybody.
Can you please put it into chat the things you there? All right. Things you'd like to see in the future. So just while you're typing, I've been talking to Canada and they'd like to do another catch up and tell us where they are. So both the community connector and the head of their community management. Could I have a show of hands? Would people like to see that interview as part of this? Oh, it's nodding. Yeah, okay, all right. We're just trying to find a time that I'm not asleep and yeah, there's about an hour in Ontario and Sydney time that works. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. So the very final thing I want to say is we have created a Facebook group. Barb, you're not part of this yet as a guest, but for all of you, and we've gone through all the effort to get you in there now, please find some way of regularly checking it because we're throwing up resources, we're asking questions in there. It is also your way to ask us questions or ask the group questions. So particularly when you're creating new resources or you're doing something for the first time, I really encourage you to ask, but I'll be posting up Kate's Love Tari a little video. So there's lots of things for you to explore and see. And this network, the companion piece is that Facebook group. So even if you don't use Facebook, we've had a couple of those just for this. I'm not a great Facebook user either. But for this, it's a really excellent way of doing that. We have a companion one for the community connectors that BIM runs. So we're now beginning, I've been waiting to say this to you, but I'm now beginning to use it really regularly. So find some way to be able to remind yourself to look at it at least once a week, if not more. So I thank you all. I hope I'm not going to lose this. So I'm not going to end it, but I'm going to say goodbye to you all. I'm sorry, I'm 3 minutes over. We're all meeting on the 27th of May because we meet on the 4th Tuesday of the month. Bring your lunch. You don't have to not eat. And thank you very much for attending. It's so exciting to see so many new sites popping up all over the place and a lot of media. So we've got a lot of attention. So good work, everyone. And that is your good work as communities putting these together. Nothing easy here. Looks simple, deceptively simple. It's actually really hard to do, as you all know. So you're doing marvellous work, and BIM, Peter and I and other members of our team are delighted to help you and help you grow stronger and give you the resources you need. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Kath. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay. And just a second, chat.